Hello, this is Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends Blogspot. It's Wednesday, September 27th, 2006, and the market's just closed. The NASDAQ I have on the screen right now, this is a 5-minute interval, meaning each bar on here represents 5 minutes worth of data, and we're looking right now at 5 days worth of data as well. I've got a few different moving averages on here, and the first thing I want to point out to you is that the market made a lower low today on this time frame. We had this high here earlier today, which was higher than yesterday's high, but then it did take out these lows right here and made these little series of lower lows, lower highs and lower lows. So short term, it looks like maybe we're undergoing a little bit of consolidation. We've got our first signs of what I consider to be official distribution, which occurs when we have moving averages crisscross. Moving average crossovers represent indecision. They're a reason to stand back and say, what's going on here? And I think that maybe we're going to digest these gains that we've seen over the last couple of days. Nothing more significant than that, at least not for now, until market action tells us otherwise. I think breaking below and closing below $40.40 might give us a little bit more reason for concern. But overall, the trend is higher, so we can't put too much weight in these very short-term breakdowns. Now, when we look at the weekly time frame, obviously, this level continues to be one of the bigger areas that I'm going to focus on, about $40.60. If we can close above there this week, and it's only Wednesday, but a closing above there this week I think is going to send a pretty good message to the market overall. I'm still bullish cautiously, like I've been saying. I'm cautiously bullish. And in the midday update, I provided a midday video, and for the most part people were pretty positive about that. And I referenced the VWAP, and the VWAP, the market was actually right around right here. And I was saying, you know, basically the market acted good, and that we want to give the benefit of the doubt to the buyers today as long as it held above the daily VWAP, which is this line. And you can see that it broke down below that, and that level acted as resistance today as well. So the VWAP, once again, just is the volume-weighted average price. It's the average price that this instrument traded at during the course of the day. If you take all the volume at each price and add it up and then divide it, the average price that the Qs traded at today during the regular session was $40.75. So with the market closing at $40.72, most people, the average person who bought this is down 3 cents. Now, it doesn't really mean much more than that for the longer term, because obviously we're just looking at a 1-minute time frame here for today, but it does tell us basically who's in control for the day, is the way I like to look at it a lot of times. The mid caps, as you know, have been the main area of concern for me. And realistically over here, maybe I was a little bit panicky. I thought maybe we were going to break down. But again, what do I always say? I say the benefit of the doubt goes to the buyers as long as the 50-day moving average is rising. And it's rising in here. So the market did find support at that rising 50-day moving average. And we've got the 10 above the 20 above the 50. And right now, it's right back up against this level that's been acting as resistance lately. Now, the nice thing to see here is that it's been making these higher lows as it comes up. And it keeps pounding away at that level of resistance. What is resistance? It's just an area where there's sellers. It's an area of supply. The more times that that level is tested, the more likely it is to break out. Because say you've got someone with 1 million shares for sale right here, and they sell 200,000. Well, they've got 800 left, and they sell another 200, so they've got 600 left. They sell another 200. They've got 400 left. They sell 200 here. Now, obviously, it's not going to be 1 million shares that holds back the mid caps, because they trade a lot more than that. I'm only trying to emphasize how that supply gets absorbed into the market by the persistence of the buyers as they keep coming up there and taking it. The other thing to notice is the higher lows. What that tells us is the buyers aren't gaining back control at 130. Instead, they're taking back control at 132. They're taking back control at 133.5, 133.5, 135. So they're not waiting for these pullbacks to get deeper and deeper. Instead, they're taking control at successively higher prices, and that puts more pressure on the upside. So mid caps on the weekly time frame still kind of looks troublesome. I think if we can get a close, basically above 139 on a weekly time frame, 140, then I think we'd be sitting a lot better. But this market, continues to firm up, and it's pretty impressive despite all the hoopla on television. The one area that is a little bit more concerning, though, is the semiconductors, because, as you know, I look at them a lot of times for leadership in the market. And they're not really providing that leadership right now. They've been unable to make a higher high. Here we saw a big intraday reversal, and all the candle people are going to call that some kind of bearish reversal. But if you look intraday, we can see that reversal much quicker. And what I was looking for yesterday, I was hoping that the SMH could get above and hold above this level here at 34.5. Now it got impressively above there early this morning, and in the midday video I had said around this point, I said, hey, it looks like it's now finding a little bit of short-term resistance at the daily R2. So most of the gains are likely have been seen, and it's time for some consolidation, and that's exactly what happened. And then this market took out the daily VWAP, and that's where sellers came in. It came down, rallied back up to that VWAP, and then the sellers really took control. So we're going to have to keep a closer eye on the semiconductors and see if this is something more meaningful for the overall market. It doesn't really make a lower low until down around 33.70, but we're going to keep our eye on that one. And right now it looks like the semiconductors may be due for a little bit of sideways consolidation. Yesterday in the semiconductor, or the spiders rather, SPY, I kind of revised my upward target. It doesn't mean don't wait exactly for 134.70 before you sell if you're an investor, but instead we're getting close to that target. We closed impressively at multi-year highs once again today. So that's the thing to focus on, is what is the market doing? Price targets mean nothing. It's just an area where there's the potential for the market to find some resistance. That's all it means. But it's getting near there, so we just have to be aware that you have to keep your stops tight and listen to the message of the market and see what happens. But to continue to remain cautiously bullish. This S&P 500, continues to make these higher highs and higher lows. So there's no reason to think that we need to go out and get aggressive on the short side. Angeion, I kicked this one. I booted this one today. As I told you, I was long a little bit over here. I got out of some yesterday into that spike, bought a little bit more back right here, and sold it as it broke below 7. I'd suggested buying it around 7, so should have been a loss of about 20 cents or so. Diodes, DIOD, yesterday we purchased this stock. And this morning we purchased it after this pullback and then subsequent rally up here. This morning I suggested a stop below that level, so that was also stopped out with a small loss, about 35 cents. RealNetworks, I updated, the new NASDAQ short interest numbers came out today, and the shorts got a little bit more aggressive, added some more shares to their position. Check out the post about 3 posts ago. I put the table on there that shows how many shares at what time frame. But anyways, the shorts, there's a big short position in here, and this stock is looking like it's getting ready to break out. It acted pretty good again today. We got involved in this one yesterday at a price of about 10.80. I'd suggested that your stop go at 10.58. I'd like to raise that stop up now to about 10.72. That gives us just above that rising 5-day moving average right now. It gives us a little bit of room because it's a little bit of a volatile stock. But, getting above $11 a share, that might be what it takes to get it going. We've got a little bit more potential for resistance at $11.20, which is this high here. But clearing that level will put it at multi-year highs, and that could really bring the shorts to their knees, and hopefully we could see it rally nicely higher from there. Teva Pharmaceutical, I'd suggested selling short yesterday at a price of $33.60. Our stop was at $33.98. You can see that didn't get hit today. So let's lower our stop down. And what we'll do is we'll just use the definition of the downtrend. It's making lower highs and lower lows. So what would invalidate that downtrend? A higher high. And that higher high would occur right above here. So let's set our stop at about $33.78 for a total risk of about 18 cents. Zoran, symbol ZRAN, I suggested a short below 16 yesterday. We'd lowered our stop to 15.80. Stopped out with a very small profit on that one. BRLI. In this one, what we were doing was looking for a pullback to 22.35. We got that 22.35 pullback and then buy it at 23.50. So that did occur. Our stop was going to be at 23.15. We didn't get hit on the stop, so our target remains 25, and it looks like maybe the stock is on its way. Realistically, if it takes out yesterday's high, 23.75, that's what might really get it going. So if you haven't taken advantage of BRLI, maybe tomorrow above 23.75 is where you take advantage of it. But right now, I think we can raise our stop by 2 or 3 cents to 23. Let's put our stop at 23.20. We'll raise it by a nickel, and that'll give us a theoretical risk right now of 30 cents. Kyphon was the big winner today, KYPH. I had suggested buying this one on some strength above $37.30. And in the midday update, I had suggested raising the stop to this level right here. And then later on, I had suggested that it would be prudent, as I said, to sell it at $39.60. So right now, our target on this stock was going to be 39 to 39.5. So I'm going to say officially that the target's been hit. No reason to continue to be in it. Check out that earlier video to see where and why that stop was raised. NDAQ, NASDAQ, kind of kicking myself for this one because I said, oh, you know what, we're going to buy it on the pullback. Forget waiting for a pullback, then strength, which you know is my preferred way of doing it. I said we can buy that pullback, and sure enough, we got stopped out 20 cents later as the stock continued to be weak. So NASDAQ was a letdown today. UTSI was also a letdown. I bought the stock right in here, and I had suggested lowering your stop to 8.8 or raising your stop to 8.88. So that did occur right here. So a very small loss in that one, about 8 cents or so. And AZPN, this is a stock I said, am I being stubborn or am I being persistent? Well, what we were looking for here was a rally up to 11.35 and then to sell the stock short below 11.20. So it didn't cost us anything, but maybe I'm being a little bit stubborn in here, looking for this stock to break. It looks like it doesn't want to break. I think this stock's going to suck all the shorts in, and probably, you know, if it breaks out right here, there could be a pretty good move to the upside. I'm not going to participate because I have a bearish bias on it. So when in doubt, stay out, and that's what I'm going to do. Last stock, Cameco CCJ, and initially what we were looking for was a rally up to 37.50. That never occurred until late in the day, and then we were going to sell it short below 37.20 as it pulled back down. So no official entry in CCJ, and I had shown you in the earlier video another way of entering it and where you should have had you entered the stock short right around in this area right here, where to set your stop, which was at about that level, to lock in any profit. So be sure to look at that one. Make sure you view the video right up to the end because there's some good information at the end like there is at the end of this video. Thanks for listening.